Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Monday, the 20th day of January 2025. It is Monday of the second week of the year, the second week in Ordinary Time. It is also Election Day. So it's also Martin Luther King Day. So it is a confluence of many different things happening today. And I am here at our cathedral, Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral, because in a few minutes we are going to be having the Mass to honor the legacy of Martin Luther King. It is also Election Day, or Inauguration Day. So I don't know what we're going to do with both of these, because nobody was really thinking about the confluence of these 2 days, which, again, nobody seems to be thinking about that in news or media or anything else like that. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. But we have Bishop Louise coming here. We also have Bishop Kurtz from the Archbishop Emeritus of Louisville, Kentucky, also going to be here for this liturgy. So it's going to happen in a couple of minutes. So here at the cathedral, as you can see the domes behind me. There will be special readings for the Mass for Martin Luther King's legacy, but for today, on this Monday of the second week of the year, we were still in the letter to the Hebrews, in which again God talks about, or Jesus, the author of the Hebrews letter, talks about the fact that that Jesus is the intermediate. Jesus is set up as the high priest, the intermediary between humanity and God, not by his own accord, but because God has claimed him as beloved son. And so Jesus does what he does because God has asked him to do it, and Jesus is faithful to that. And because through what he does for God, he suffers. That suffering does lead to glory. So again, the author is trying to rationalize and kind of explain the whole idea of a God or a servant of God, or again, who this Christ is, of having to suffer and having to die. So this is this whole problem that sometimes, again, that Judaism has with this principle of Christianity, that again, a God who suffers or a servant who suffers cannot be redeemed, or suffers because they have offended God, or there's something wrong with whatever they're preaching or their work was. And so the letter to the Hebrews is trying to explain that in this new and novel way. Again, it's important to realize that in the letter to the Hebrews so far, the equating of Jesus directly with God is not yet so clear, and that this won't be something for another kind of 100 or 200 years or so. Again, these discussions of who and what Jesus is. He is the Messiah. He is the servant of God. He is the one that God sent and anointed to bring the good news. But that he is God, not yet. So it's an interesting kind of thing as you listen to the letter to the Hebrews, to also kind of remember that part of it. In the gospel today, we hear about, again, the continuing problems that Jesus has with the Pharisees and the scribes, again, beginning since when he healed the man who was lame and who could not walk, and he invites him to get up and walk and cures him in that way. Again, there is this whole sense of the newness that Christ is bringing with his ministry. And here we talk about wine and wineskins. You do not pour new wine into old wineskins, because they will burst and break and the wine will be ruined. You pour new wine into new wineskins, and that way it is preserved. Again, the whole idea of a newness that God is creating, which through Jesus, and that Jesus is working at a newness that is not necessarily destroying, what was, but is refashioning it, is healing it, is fixing where it has been broken, and things like that. The whole idea of the wine and the wineskins, making sure that whatever wine is poured is going to be something that is permanent in people's lives, and something that matters in people's lives, and something that begins to impact and affect their lives. It isn't just the same old with Jesus. It is something that is new and wonderful and glorious. And that is the importance, as we move into this new year, more and more as we move from Christmas into the life of this Messiah who has been born for us. What is that newness in our lives, and how does it fill us, with a new sense of refreshment and hope and wonder and joy? A blessed day, a blessed Inauguration Day, a blessed Martin Luther King Day, St. Francis and people of God, and from the cathedral, may the Lord give you his peace.